Tonight on Action News 5 at 6, Day 3 of the trial of Billy Ray Turner continues.
There is nothing in that text message between Shaw Wright and Billy Turner that sets up any kind of murder or killing of Lorenzen Wright, is there?
Text messages between Shara Wright and Billy Ray Turner were called into question as testimony continues today. Find out what was discussed in these newly released text messages. Plus, an attorney pleads guilty in bribing a public official, the relation this case has to a former district attorney. And talks of a third bridge across the Mississippi River are underway. We're taking action for you, telling you if these talks will turn into action.
Taking action for you. Action News 5 at 6 starts now.
Communication between Shara Wright and Billy Ray Turner were the subject in Day 3 of Turner's trial. Good evening, and thank you for joining me for Action News 5 at 6. I'm Noah Sershin in for Joe and Kanji. Prosecutors are using the records from Billy Ray Turner's phone to prove to the jury that he had a role in the murder of former Memphis Grizzlies basketball star Lorenzen Wright. Action News 5's Kelly Roberts is live now from 201 Poplar with the latest in Day 2 of testimony. Kelly.
Good evening. Well, today police detectives went through Billy Ray Turner's phone records. The jury also heard from a TBI special agent and the area's chief medical examiner. Today, prosecutors trying to prove calls and text messages to and from Turner and Shara Wright and Jimmy Martin in the days before and after Lorenzen Wright's death put Turner in the plot to kill the basketball star. 13 pages of text messages pulled from Shara Wright's phone were entered into evidence Wednesday on the second day of testimony in the trial of Billy Ray Turner.
I'm going to need my commission. Ren want you to bring your cards in the AM before you fly out. You owe me, boy.
There is nothing in that text message between Shaw Wright and Billy Turner that sets up any kind of murder or killing of Lorenzen Wright, is there?
On the surface, no.
Memphis detective Jussie Browning joined the investigation into Lorenzen Wright's murder in 2016. He says phone records, texts, and Facebook messages show frequent communication between Shara Wright, her cousin Jimmy Martin, and Turner in the days and minutes before and after the murder.
Were there phone calls from Jimmy Martin to Billy Turner the night of the homicide?
There were.
Were there phone calls from Billy Turner to Jimmy Martin the night of the homicide?
Yes, there were.
So there was back and forth.
Correct.
Memphis Police Sergeant Dennis Evans is with MPD's digital forensics team. He testified Turner used his cell phone near Shara Wright's house the night of Lorenzen Wright's murder and even utilized the cell tower in the area of the homicide minutes after Lorenzen Wright's cell phone made a call in the area to 911. The jury also learned about the alleged murder weapon. TBI Special Agent Servinia Braswell says at least 10 bullets and casings found at the homicide scene and in Wright's body came from a 9mm pistol recovered in a Mississippi lake in 2017. Dr. Marco Ross, who performed Wright's autopsy, says he was shot at least 5 times.
In your report at the very end, in your summation, you also said that additional gunshot wounds cannot be excluded. Why is that?
Again, because of the degree of decomposition of the body.
And court did conclude about an hour and a half ago. Sergeant Evans was still on the stand, so it is expected that he will start his cross-examination tomorrow morning when court resumes at 9:30. We will be inside the courthouse when that happens and bring you the latest reports from Day 4 of the Billy Ray Turner trial. Reporting live from 201 Poplar tonight, Kelly Roberts, Action News 5.
Kelly, thanks. A change of plea from a personal injury attorney accused in a bribery investigation. Attorney Aaron Neglia has now pleaded guilty to bribery of a public servant. Prosecutors say that he and 8 others, including a former district attorney, were involved in a scheme where they made profits off of confidential information in Memphis police accident reports. Neglia will be sentenced in June. A man has now been arrested after he broke into a woman's home, assaulted her, and then raped her. The Memphis Police fugitive team took Glenn Davis into custody last night on North Hollywood Street. Police say that he forced his way into a woman's home on Royalwood Drive. In the police report, a woman has a protective order against Davis. Police identified Davis as a potential suspect, and a warrant was issued for his arrest for aggravated rape, aggravated assault, aggravated burglary, and violation of a protection order. Suspects are on the run tonight after a bank robbery this morning. This robbery happened at 7 a.m. at the Bank of Bartlett on Highway 64 in Houston Levee. Police say that the suspects fled the scene after taking money from the store. The amount of money stolen from the bank has not been determined. Police are also investigating a bank robbery that happened in East Memphis. This happened at the Cadence Bank branch on Poplar Avenue. No arrests were also made in this case. Police have not said if the two cases are related. An investigation remains active tonight after a warehouse fire left the sky of North Memphis covered in black smoke. The Memphis Fire Department was called to the building before 1 this afternoon, and now the fire is out. Memphis Fire says that no one was hurt. The cause of this fire, cooking oil. In this warehouse, cooking oil is repurposed. That is why the fire department says that the smoke was so dense. They also say that there is no threat to those that live or work in this area. A car crash leaves an adult dead and a juvenile taken to the hospital in non-critical condition. This car crash happened near the Castelia Heights area of Park Avenue on Airways just before 1 this afternoon. Memphis police responded to the car crash after a car crashed into a pole. Concern is growing nationwide as a new variant of coronavirus is causing an uptick in cases in the United Kingdom. That irritation is the BA2 variant, also known as stealth Omicron, which caused the positivity rate in the UK and Europe to increase by over 50% over the last 7 days, with hospitalizations increasing too. Dr. Stephen Threlkeld with Baptist Medical Healthcare says that the virus can be seen in the Mid-South in as little as 2 weeks.
It makes us very nervous that we could be seeing that sort of thing, particularly when you show that the British experience has been pretty good at predicting our experience a few weeks afterward.
Now, this variant has been in the United States for months, but it's too early to tell the damage that this variant will cause.
It comes down right now to what variants are on the horizon. We hope that it will sort of morph into a less and less severe disease. And people have the erroneous idea that it has to do that. It does not. The next variant could be more virulent and more likely to kill people again.
And this comes as flu cases are also on the rise. As coronavirus cases continue to fall, hospitals across the country are starting to notice an increase in patients diagnosed with the flu, and that includes Le Bonheur Children's Hospital. Over the last few weeks, they are averaging about 5 to 7 children testing positive for the flu a day. Typically, the flu is more common during the fall and winter months. However, the virus tends to spread year-round. Some of the symptoms of the flu include higher fever and coughing a lot. If you're trying to determine whether it's the flu or COVID, you should get tested. And we're following some news just into our newsroom. Human remains in rural Mississippi have been identified as a Memphis woman who was reported missing in November. The Tallahatchie County coroner confirmed those remains to be those of 27-year-old Ashley McDonald. She disappeared last year after police say that she drove from Hickory Hill area to Batesville, Mississippi to meet a man on Thanksgiving. McDonald's vehicle was found later between a shed and a trailer in Tallahatchie County. Memphis police were informed earlier this year, and investigators searched the area around where the car was found. Lawmakers who listened to Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky's pleas for help are now showing calls for additional support. Mid-South Republican Congressman David Kustoff is hopeful that immediate action will be taken as the deadly invasion continues in Ukraine.
You know, the issues are, what do we do next? How do we help the Ukrainian people to defend themselves? And I don't think there's any doubt that we should continue to not only press on the sanctions, which have been effective, trying to hurt the Russian economy or dismantle the Russian economy, but to make sure that the Ukrainian people have the equipment that they need so that they can defend themselves.
Today, President Biden did not commit to requests from President Zelensky putting a no-fly zone over Ukraine, as well as fighter jets. Democratic Congressman Jim Cooper from Tennessee also spoke out on Zelensky's strong message. Cooper called Zelensky a great leader. Well, talks about a third bridge over the Mississippi River connecting Tennessee and Arkansas are underway. Now, are these discussions just small talk, or will there be some action behind these talks? Action News 5's Reseda Hogan is taking action for you. She did some digging and has the latest.
For years, there have been talks about building a third bridge over the Mississippi River between Tennessee and Arkansas. Right now, we're seeing more than just talk. Tennessee State Representative Joe Towns is sponsoring a resolution encouraging TDOT to collaborate with RDOT, the U.S. Department of Transportation, Shelby County, and the city of Memphis on the construction of a new bridge over the river at Memphis. Towns says aside from the challenges everyone saw when the I-40 bridge shut down last year, there are multiple reasons for a third bridge.
We live on a fault line, so to speak, okay? And if there's a need for us to transport people in mass numbers, and we only have one bridge that's available, it is not going to do it in a timely manner.
When I called Representative Towns, he was in the middle of a conversation about this very topic with Representative Dwayne Thompson.
You know, the thing is, we're a transportation city. We're right there at the top in every mode of transportation, not just trucks and cars.
As this resolution makes its way to the House floor, TDOT has already requested RDOT's help in updating the study for a third bridge, this time with specific placement details.
What kind of caught my attention, quite honestly, is that it focuses on building that third bridge, that crossing in the Memphis metropolitan area specifically.
Parker says past studies have looked at placing the bridge 30 minutes north or south of Memphis. In Wednesday's RDOT Commission meeting, the department unanimously voted to help with the study.
I think that's what you're seeing is more and more people coming to the table, and it would seem, yes, we have taken a big step closer to getting that third bridge.
Parker says TDOT plans to have the study done by this fall. Brissetta Holgan, Action News 5.
And dates for hearings for Representative Towns' resolutions have not been scheduled. We'll keep you updated.
Clouds for much of the day today, but they're finally clearing, and we'll get some sunshine in here for tomorrow. But I've got your first alert on our next round of rain. My first alert forecast just minutes away.
New and next at 6, an Orange Mound funeral home that even had their own Netflix show has been fined by the state after a body mix-up. Find out how much Bernard Funeral Services was fined. Plus, day 2 of the trial of an Arkansas sheriff's deputy after he shot and killed a teenager during a traffic stop. The emotional testimony from someone sitting in the passenger seat during the whole encounter. And Memphis could soon be home to a major golf entertainment facility. How plans will fit into the Bluff City as the CEO shares why similar proposals have previously fallen through.
Taking action. For you, you're watching Action News 5 at 6.
A family has filed a lawsuit against Bernard Funeral Services after members of that family say that they were given remains of a person other than their loved one after a cremation. Bernard's funeral service, located in Orange Mound, was even featured on Netflix, Buried by the Bernards, a reality TV show. There was a plastic and metal identification tag with the ashes given to them by the funeral home. The state of Tennessee fined the funeral home for unprofessional conduct and failed to treat members of the public in a respectful manner. The funeral home was fined almost $7,500. After only 2 days in the Michael Davis manslaughter trial, the prosecution has rested its case after speaking to 6 witnesses. Dr. Jennifer Forsyth with the Arkansas State Crime Lab, who conducted the autopsy of Hunter Britton on June 23rd of last year, took the stand. Dr. Forsyth said that the cause of death was a gunshot to the neck. Steve Hines, who was called to testify in the case, said that a deputy is trained to state that he is going to shoot before he fires his weapon, which is what Hunter's friends, who was present at the time of the shooting, said that they did not hear. Testimony continues tomorrow morning. Historically black colleges and universities affected by recent bomb threats are eligible for federal grants. Vice President Kamala Harris announced that resources are available to HBCUs today. Now the schools can apply for funding under the Project School Emergencies Response to Violence program.
This intimidation will not stand, and we will not be intimidated. We will do everything in our power to protect all our communities from violence and from hate. We are all in this together, and we must stand together.
The Department of Education says that the grants will likely go towards mental health resources and enhance campus security. A court has ordered that former Empire star Jussie Smollett be released from jail during an appeal of his conviction for lying to police. The news came less than a week after Cook County Judge James Lynn sentenced Smollett to 150 days of jail time and 30 months of probation for lying to police in 2019 when he claimed that he was the victim of a homophobic and racist attack in Chicago. Although Smollett had been ordered to begin serving his jail time immediately, an appeals court ruled that he could be released on a personal recognizance of bond. Smollett's lawyers, who argued that the actor would be a risk of harm in jail, said Smollett would have completed his sentence before the appeals process was finalized. There is no word of when Smollett will be released from jail, but it is expected to be tonight. New at 6, a golf entertainment center in the Bluff City could become a reality after an application was submitted to the Memphis and Shelby County Land Use Control Board Council. Now the paperwork for the proposed golf center is on South Germantown Road near the 385 overpass and Winchester Road. Action News 5's Ariana Poindexter has more on this potential new development and what this could mean for the city.
This empty field along South Germantown Road could soon be home to a multi-acre golf and entertainment facility. This comes after an application was recently submitted to the Memphis and Shelby County Land Use Control Board detailing plans for an event center that would have a full-service restaurant, bar, event space, outdoor seating and dining, outdoor patio, and mini golf, similar to facilities like Topgolf that are placed throughout the country.
It's a great amenity for a community to have. And, they're a winner all over the country at every location that they are, where they have a top golf facility.
Memphis Tourism CEO Kevin Kane says developers have been looking to bring something like this to the Memphis area for a while.
It's going to be a great amenity for the citizens of Memphis and Shelby County, but it's also going to be a great tourism amenity for the visitors that come here.
According to the application, the project is listed as Polo Grounds North Plan Development, with GBT Realty out of Brentwood, Tennessee listed as developers. Kane says there were previous attempts to get a golf facility to the Bluff City that have failed, but he feels now is the right time.
I feel pretty confident they're going to come.
The application goes before the Land Use Control Board on April 14th. Ariana Poindexter, Action News 5.
Ariana, thanks. Action News 5 reached out to GBT Realty of Memphis and the Land Use Control Board. We have not heard back. A new gym is coming to East Memphis. Gold's Gym is set to open this summer. It will be on South White Station Road near the same shopping strip as Bed Bath & Beyond. It will offer trainings, group classes, childcare, tanning, and more.
This is a shot from our High Five camera in Midtown. Look at that. Beautiful wrap up to the day. And it looks like we're headed into what's shaping up to be a lovely night and a dry one as well. Our first alert Doppler radar confirming that. Nothing in the way of precipitation. And it looks like we'll enjoy a dry day tomorrow. Low pressure in the southeastern U.S. Keep those clouds in play today. But we'll enjoy some sunshine tomorrow. However, I'm already tracking our next round of rain. It's going to come in with a low pressure system that will be moving out of the plains late Thursday and passing through the Mid-South on Friday. So let's take a look at it, shall we? We're going to pick this up at midnight Thursday night and roll through the early morning hours of Friday. I think many of us could be wakened by some rumbles of thunder, some heavy rain, maybe even a little gusting wind. Now, we're not looking at anything in the way of severe weather, but there's a little elevated instability with this, so there will likely be some thunder in there, maybe even some small hail as well. Now, the rain will continue into the early morning hours of Friday, and I think Friday morning's commute could be a little soggy for many. The good news is it's going to be moving out quickly, and by midday, maybe even a little clearing. A few clouds will likely filter back into the area in the afternoon hours, but that's going to lead to what's shaping up to be a much better pattern for our weekend. Rainfall amount's going to average right around a ½ an inch for most areas, including Memphis. Get that First Alert weather app. Put it on your smartphone. You're going to have that interactive radar. And should there be any warnings issued in the overnight hours, you'll be alerted right there on your smartphone or your tablet. It's a free download for Apple and Android products and a great thing to have, especially when weather's moving through. Partly cloudy right now at 69. We hit 70 degrees today. Absolutely lovely. Temperatures elsewhere in the area. Look at this, mid and upper 60s to near 70. And we're getting these clouds out of here nicely. We'll have a partly cloudy sky, upper 40s to near 50 in West Tennessee tonight. Northern Mississippi, you'll find temperatures mid and upper 40s for most areas, and partly cloudy in eastern Arkansas, and right around 48 to 49 for most communities. Memphis will drop to 50. There could be a little patchy fog by sunrise. Otherwise, a partly cloudy sky and a light south wind. Futurecast from now until 10, showing those clouds breaking up nicely. Few clouds likely in the morning, possibly some fog, but sunshine in the afternoon, and then our next rainmaker lining up to our west late Thursday night. Tomorrow should play out like this. Partly cloudy, 52 at 7. Again, maybe a little early morning fog, so allow that extra time for your morning commute tomorrow. Then 68 and partly cloudy at noon, 72 at 3, 73 at 5, and 67 at 7. We'll hit a high of 75 tomorrow with the south wind at 5 to 10. Rain exits early Friday, 66 the high there, then sunny, 64 Saturday, 72 and sunshine Sunday. We're at 74 on Monday. Another great start to next week, but more rain and thunderstorms likely next Tuesday and Wednesday.
Thanks, Ron. Next in sports, your Memphis Tigers are getting ready for the big dance tomorrow, but a roster change is shaking up the Tigers team. Next, how the roster will either benefit or harm the Tigers. And tonight at 10, new legislation in Tennessee would make DNA testing required before a man signs a birth certificate is making its way through the Tennessee legislature. We caught up with a local senator who actually came up with this bill tonight on Action News 5 at 10. Sports is next. Well, we are less than 18 hours away from tip-off of the University of Memphis' first NCAA tournament appearance in 8 years. The Tigers take on Boise State at Motor Center in Portland, Oregon tomorrow, but a change in the roster has gotten some folks buzzing here locally. That's where we find Action News 5's Cassie Carlson. She joins us live now from Portland. And Cassie, what did we learn from head basketball coach Penny Hardaway?
Well, we learned the entire team made the trip to Portland, which includes Amani Bates, who is a full participant in open practice today. He has missed the last 12 games with a back injury that had no timetable for a return. And every time Penny Hardaway was asked about it, he would say, you know, we're ready for Amani when Amani is ready to come back to us. Now, during that time, the Tigers did go 10-2, but I got to say, Amani Bates looked really good in practice today. His jumper was smooth, got a ton of shots up, clearly wasn't restricted as he went to the rim with several dunks as well. But when Penny Hardaway was asked if there's a chance Amani Bates makes his return in the first round of the NCAA tournament against Boise State, here's what he had to say.
I mean, he hadn't played, so I don't know. You know what I mean? He's here, and he's been practicing some, but has never played. Like, come back to see how his back feels. This has been going on for like 4 weeks, 5 weeks, so he came on a trip just like everyone else, and we just don't know.
So clearly not a clear-cut answer from Penny Hardaway. Now, the entire team did travel, which also means redshirts who did not travel since late in January because Penny Hardaway felt like they were more of a distraction on the road. This time, he's bringing them because he feels like everyone on the team should be able to experience the NCAA tournament, and he also hopes it serves as some motivation for the young players in later years. In Portland for the NCAA tournament, Cassie Carlson, Action News 5.
Cassie, thanks. Tip-off time for the Tigers in Boise State is set for 12:45. You can watch the game on TNT. We'll have a preview of the game tonight at 10. The Memphis Tigers football team opened spring practice this weekend, and a lot of questions need to be answered. One of them being, how will they react to new offensive and defensive coordinators, and who will take over running back coach's job after Anthony Jones said that he's leaving for TSU. Head coach Ryan Silverfield says that he will be working with the RBs looking for suitable replacements. He also acknowledged that the quarterback battle expected freshman All-American Seth Hennigan and Oregon transfer Grant Gunnell, whose torn Achilles tendon dropped him out of the race in fall camp last season.
Day one, Seth will go out there as the starter, okay? But that doesn't mean if he doesn't do what he's supposed to or he turns the ball over, well, then maybe Grant's get some of those reps. Even with Seth at the start, hey, how can I help him? What can I do? And they're constantly bouncing ideas off each other, but he's full, clean bill of health and excited to get out there and roll.
The Tigers will have 15 spring practices, culminating a Friday night Stripes game at the Liberty Bowl on April the 22nd. And here's one final look at this beautiful weather.
Yeah, we've got a nice night tonight. We'll fall to 50, sunshine and mid-70s tomorrow. Rain moves in tomorrow night and Friday, but a good-looking weekend coming.
Thanks, Ron, and thank you all for joining us for Action News 5 at 6. We'll see you back here tonight at 10. Have a great evening, everyone.
Stream Action News 5 for free on actionnews5.com, on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and Apple TV.